It's like a greatest hits collection of missed layups. I can't even believe this is real. I just stumbled across of it. There's 2 different videos now floating around out there, and it's unbelievable.
Angel Reese just did a fantastic job. Pay me for the biggest blunder in WNBA history. More or I'm gone. She's the only issue. Followed up on that audacious statement with a performance that had admirers questioning whether she was trying out for a house. Rather than a basketball game, a makeover show. It wasn't merely a poor evening, it was an laying bricks. Masterwork following superstars' desire. Ree made money on her podcast. The court going 5 for 13 right away. In her upcoming match, and I believe that shot is one of the worst. Hit the bottom instead of merely missing it. Of the backboard, as though it were attempting to leave the gym because the timing couldn't have been better or worse for her argument. For all those who appreciate humor.
Because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility.
I guarantee you, the intelligent folks, and there are plenty in the WNBA, are saying, well, you two, it's just shut up. Sit out.
Girl, y'all benefited from everything. Y'all youngins benefited from NIL.
What does that mean? We deserve more.
So, let's dissect it. Have you ever pondered the possible outcomes? If a player for the WNBA threatened to hold the salary-related hostage-taking of the entire league, demands as Angel Reese just provided us with, the response, and it's amusing on her podcast's most recent episode. Unrepentantly, Angel, which let's be honest ought to be inadvertently renamed. Comedian Reese and her buddy sat down, Deke Harrington in illusion, and gave what may be the most extravagant ultimatum in the history of the league. She didn't simply push for increased compensation. She directly implied that if she is willing but doesn't get what she wants, to abstain from.
I love how y'all have selective hearing. I said I'm hearing if they don't give us what we want, we sitting out. And that's the truth. Good.
This is the same person that literally said she didn't know what her WNBA salary was and that it didn't even cover her rent.
Yes, Angel, you heard correctly. Reese, who has not yet demonstrated her ability to. The WNBA's dominant force believes she have the power to influence the league too. It's not good. However, the issue arises when you claim that I should be paid more. Turning is the worst thing you can do around and perform in a way that would cause even league players to cringe, and that's just what took place. Reese was occupied with demanding superstar. Caitlin Clark was out here receiving therapy, genuinely performing like a rock star, attracting ratings that break records, overflowing arenas, and, of course, forcing her to. Reese was turning layups while shots were being taken into blooper reels that go viral. So this is the WNBA is trembling in terror over this threat of a boycott. Or is Reese only giving? Fans, stay tuned for more reasons to laugh, since we're going to explore the lowest of all the embarrassing highlights. Lighting of Angel Reese's alleged superstar run.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the FIBA rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
Angel Reese's first appearance on the court following her audacious boycott threat seemed to have a sense of the basketball gods. Of humor, if you intend to insist on superstar money, you should provide a fantastic performance, okay? Let's simply mention Reese's gaming video from that night seems to be more of an educational how not to finish at the rim video.
Gets to Sykes, lofts it up. Reese on the cleanup. Power dribble to separate.
Competing with Aaliyah Boston's, the best vinyl basketball club in the league, Reese had the ideal chance to demonstrate why she merited a larger, rather than a wage. She brought a master. We're discussing missed layups and class, point-blank attempts and wide open shoots, and rabbits that weren't alone. They came off the backboard with a clank like someone neglected to adjust her shot's calibration. Gauge when this breakdown will occur. Couldn't have been more terrible. Only a few days after she was claimed not one of her is paid by the WNBA bills, she performed a show that had Fans were curious if the rent was due in the middle of game. At one point, it appeared as though her teammates ceased to pass her the perhaps the ball is out of secondhand humiliation.
She just threatened the lockout. If y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out. This is why sometimes you probably should have somebody look over a podcast. She's threatening to go on strike. I actually understand it's the way negotiations work in the CBA, not on a podcast.
Let's now take a moment to rewind Ree's rookie. She receives roughly $73,000 from the contract. This portion of a 4-year, $325,000 offer fully typical for WNBA rookies, although Angel claims that her basic expenses are barely covered by her pay. She raged on TikTok, becoming viral over, "Why doesn't the WNBA even compensate one of my bills?" After which she nonchalantly disclosed her rent is $8,000 a month, which comes to $96,000 more annually, greater than her whole WNBA salary.
I just hope y'all know the WNBA don't pay my bills at all. I don't even think that pays one of my bills. Let me do the math real quick.
It might cover that. Yeah, it covers that. It definitely covers that.
What is I don't even know my salary.
Pay attention. No one is arguing that she can't survive the lifestyle she desires, but perhaps, if just your rent exceeds the WNBA's whole payroll isn't the league. That is the issue. It's known as budgeting. Angel, but rather than reconsidering her, Reese doubled down on her as they approached, threatening a boycott on social media to demonstrate unequivocally that she wasn't speaking spontaneously. She meant it. If her finances don't improve, she's willing to wait. Demands are not fulfilled.
No, my rent is more than that. It's 8,000. I'm living beyond my means.
This is where one of her makes it even funnier. Main grievances raised by aspiring rookies, such as USC's Juga Watkins, might become earning more than she did. Reese Wedda. Those arriving this year will continue to be on the contract for rookies, but those following that, they will most likely be earning more than we do.
But the women coming in, not this year, but next year.
Yeah.
The ones coming this year will still be on the rookie contract again. Mm-hmm. The ones the year after, they gonna get more. They probably gonna be making more than us.
They are.
I'm hurt.
They are. Yeah. I've been in the meetings. They are.
Angel, that's not injustice. The actual way that professional sports. She signed a 4-year contract deal for rookies, even if the WNBA reaches a new CBA that elevates novice salaries that she's still bound to. She signed a contract so every league functions. What if an NBA player in his second year asked for a raise? Just because the salary cap was raised doesn't operate in that manner.
Like, if I'm an NBA owner, I didn't get rich by wasting a couple million on something that has no chance of making money. These two, sit out. See what happens. Now, I would miss watching the Fever. I would miss watching Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't miss anything else.
Not to mention that the WNBA still lost $40 million or so last season. Their revenue isn't precisely at NBA level. The league lacks the funds to begin breaching agreements only because Reese no longer enjoys hers.
You lost 40, 50 million. You know who would clap for you all sitting out? The NBA. So they don't have to subsidize your dumbasses to the tune of 40 to 50 million a year.
However, let's return to what actually. Performance is important if you're going to. You'd best play if you wanted special attention. Reese is out instead of being an all-star. Lacking here, as if she's attempting to evaluate the structural soundness of the backboard, so that we may be honest. If Reese believes she is too talented for the WNBA contract, that she may like to begin demonstrating it on the court, due to the fact that she is the league leader in the only miss layups.
Final as a club has not made a three-pointer. Grace turnaround, no good. Final third in the league in three-point field goals. Reese looks to stick with it, nabs it back. Angel Reese, no.
However, the issue is revealed by the numbers. An entirely distinct tale. Angel Reese talks a lot about how she's among the WNBA's faces, but when it's evident from the ratings. that the actual cause of the audience's attention. Actually, it has nothing to do with her. Without Caitlin Clark, she performed on the court's opposing side. The number of viewers fell sharply.
Angel Reese last night, once again, had one of the worst shooting games in the history of planet Earth. For what's supposed to be a big? I mean, what in the hell is going on here? I understand her team won. I get it. 5 of 13 from the field. 13 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, only 10 points.
As it happens, Rhea isn't being watched by many people. You moan about her and miss layups. Pay period, they're watching for real. Star power, and everyone is aware of who that is. Because let's face it, if Ray's was, this enormous popularity wouldn't be her own. Wouldn't her jersey be selling out at the games? Wouldn't they be flying off the shelves? People are vying for tickets too. Watch her perform instead of Caitlin Clark. Top-ranked WNBA jersey in terms of attendance. The quantities of viewers and purchases in the meantime. Rhea continues to act as though she's the person who is drawing all the focus to. The league with a 39% shooting percentage from the field and failing to hit layups that would. A coach at a middle school shakes their head.
This is the same player that just came out and said, if they don't pay them the bag in the WNBA, we sitting out. Quote, we sitting out. What? I mean, after seeing her miss routine layups over and over and over again, I'm like, how the hell can this person possibly be demanding more money from anyone?
Montage's missed layup that has been circulating on the internet is among the most hilarious things you'll ever see. We're discussing wide open shots all year long now. Despite the presence of defenders, she is still being able to come up with fresh, original ideas. Someone needs to brick them now. Must determine if the backboard owes Reese money due to her punishment. It never stops.
Oh, Reese! 3-on-3, part 13, let's get it! Classic long two. Bang! PSA, no rims or backboards were harmed during the filming of this video. But viewers are encouraged to look away. Bang! What? Bang! I heard her say that she might sit out if the WNBA doesn't pay her what she deserves. I say $1 million for every missed layup is fair. Bang! They are stat petting queen properly. Fair wages for all. I repeat, fair wages. Remember, they're coming to see her. Long two, butter pecan. Bang!
As expected, the internet has a field day as these missing clips. Fans replied to the viral layups with, pay her attention to the sarcastic remarks. Give her the maximum appearance, please. Repeatedly in her bricks videos. Others didn't hesitate to call Reese a bricklayer and interrogating her offensive abilities with remarks such as, it's really overpriced and the only RE I've seen making a layup appear difficult.
Guys, how many times have I said she shouldn't be practicing no jumpers from nowhere. I mean, she ought to be just layup after layup after layup. Because let's be real, a lot of the heat she takes is because of this. And it's because it's not to be believed.
However, for a moment, let's be serious. This is not how you demonstrate your worth for extra money. Imagine entering your boss's office. Office requests a pay increase, and then instantly mess up a basic task that's literally at work. Description, which is precisely what took place. Reese discussed how she deserved this. A larger salary, after which they went out and display a highlight reel of layups that were missed. This cannot be made up.
Say what you want about Angel Reese. You can't tell me she isn't the star of every show every time she's on the court. I can't even hate on this. She's Larry, Moe, and Curly all at once. The Three Stooges. I mean, wow. Come on. I think the worst part is Lisa Leslie risked her legacy credibility coaching her with no visible improvement so far anyways. Good God, laugh out loud. But she gets rebounds. She's threatening leagues over pay.
Caitlin Clark, meantime, is genuinely improving the WNBA sellout. Arenas are smashing attendance records and displaying authentic superstar. Shows when Reese is occupied, requesting cash that she hasn't earned. Clark is letting her game speak for her. That's what separates a genuine celebrity and someone who merely aspires to be. At this moment, Reese is treated as one may wish to reevaluate the boycott concept since following this performance. If she sat, the WNBA might not even notice.
Ow. And isn't she shooting like 35% from the field? Can somebody tell me who in the world watches a 35% shooter from the paint that is basically grabbing her own rebounds from her own missed shot?
When assessing social internet star power, podcast engagement, and follows may appear remarkable, but the true test is in terms of real viewership figures. And when it regarding Angel Reese, the figures reveal a tale that she most likely doesn't want to hear. The unmatched league in which she is now plays had a promising beginning, but interest has fallen to all-time lows, falling below 100,000 visitors. This is not simply a decrease, it's a sharp reduction. Statement implies supporters aren't paying attention to observe her performance.
But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that.
The truth about Reese's alleged star power seems much more dubious when you acknowledge that an unparalleled game with she wasn't even able to surpass a college basketball game between UCLA and the Big Ten includes Nebraska. When a professional league game is on network, is selected by a random college dispute, it presents grave questions about how big of a pull Reese truly has if she is as powerful as she says she is. Why aren't people attending to observe?
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero, zip, nothing.
This absence of interest goes beyond what is unmatched. Attendance statistics for the league WNBA reveal the games with the same plot and Caitlin Clark regularly fill arenas, although those Reese, the star, struggles to fill. Arenas that have empty seats don't lie, and neither are TV ratings the same thing. Clearly, Clark is the real inspiration for women's basketball's increasing appeal, not Reese.
Actually, if you really want to go into business, you need to pay some money back. You made absolutely nothing. You haven't really enhanced the league. Caitlin Clark has.
We have to be completely honest about this, whether we like it or not. 90% of this revived or renewed interest is really based around one singular player.
Reese spends her time spending time concentrating on contract discussions. Clark takes a stand and makes demands. Entirely different strategy rather than presenting herself as the cause of the WNBA is expanding, and she expresses gratitude for the leagues. I believe that the WNBA is making progress. It's fairly amazing right now, I believe. Of individuals, or the majority of people wouldn't think that it is where it is. Clark recently stated on the first difference is the interview. The player gives commands and the other recognizes and values the moment.
I mean, I'm not huge on comparing the WNBA to the NBA. I don't really think that's fair. Obviously, I think where the WNBA is right now is pretty incredible. I think a lot of people, or most people, would not believe it to the place that it is right now. So I think when people always ask me this question, where I think it'll be in 5 years, is it's hard for me to answer because people didn't even think we'd be right here, right now. And I think really sky's the limit. I think when you see our TV numbers when we're on national television, we're averaging over 1 million viewers or whatever it is. All-Star game, I think, was over 4 million viewers. Like, it's just really great numbers. So the more opportunities we're given, I think the more it's going to shine and get better and better. I think also the talent level in college is continuing to get a lot better, and as those players come into the league, and it's going to continue to improve. We're adding 2 new teams next year, and then probably another team year after that.
Some more games.
Yeah, more games, which I think will be good. It will lengthen the season a little bit more.
Reese issues boycott threats, but Clark emphasizes improvement. Clark is not requesting preferential treatment. Rather, she is using her off-season time, improving her skills, and getting ready for her. She's putting in her second year in the league, working to improve her performance, not increase her salary. It's a glaring disparity in one player's attitudes. Feels that, based on hype, she deserves more. Alone. Yet the other knows that consistent work yields true value, outcomes, and role in the success of the squad.
If I was funding this league, I'd say, all right, hold on. You got a golden goose. We all got one in Caitlin Clark. These people that are criticizing Caitlin Clark, these people that are hitting Caitlin Clark, these people that are talking as if they are as important as Caitlin Clark are hurting our opportunity. They're hurting the brand.
So, who is genuinely in charge of the surge of curiosity around women's? The data in basketball makes it crystal. Reese's conviction that she is a major is evident. The viewership appeal is just not sustainable. When you examine the data in the meanwhile, Clark keeps skipping class. TV ratings are dominated by records, which drive the league's remarkable popularity. Heights, this is more than a fad. It is a conclusive. Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese, said, is the main factor influencing women's basketball's recent rise in popularity. This is neither a viewpoint nor a prejudiced view, as the data demonstrate. In all quantifiable metrics, whether it's television ratings or ticket sales, Clark is in a league for merchandise demand on her own, and Reese keeps on. Overestimate her impact.
I will continue to use my voice to speak for what we want and deserve as a league. Thank you. No, that's not what you did. You said me, I. They're going to get more than us. I deserve more, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut.
The indisputable reality about the tremendous rise in women's basketball is composed in cold, hard data, while a single player is producing headlines for requesting further funding. Arenas are being secretly sold off by another and breaking attendance records together. To put it plainly, if I'm an NBA, I would miss observing the fever. Owner would not be able to see Caitlin Clark, but I wouldn't overlook anything. Otherwise, that statement sums up the truth about Clark's impact on towers, above those who assert that they are equally as vital to the future success of the WNBA. Of basketball for women isn't being constructed. Rants and empty threats on podcasts are being molded by honest, genuine skill, and a player who allows her game to do the talking. Itself, the difference is so obvious. Liability versus entitled substance. In contrast to spectacle, and fans are creating their audience to make their voices heard. Purchasing tickets and engagement, the figures are clear now. The true query is whether Angel Reese will ever awaken and understand that, or will she continue to believe her own hype, even though what do you do when the world goes on without her? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Turn on all notifications and subscribe. To ensure you don't miss anything, click the video on screen and we'll see you there. The following one